Guys, welcome back to the Red Pandacast, episode 15. And we're talking about a lot of stuff today, including Star Wars, Marvel's Eternals, a certain person by the initials of AH that might be related to a Johnny. We also talk about Will Smith and some gaming stuff as well, which should be pretty fun and awesome. But yeah, I just had an issue. So I relaunched, oh my god, I launched my OBS, right? And this is a thing that's happened twice now. Well, actually, no, it hasn't happened twice. It's happened multiple times over the course of years on different PCs and systems. But OBS has like a RAM leak, and it's not related to any of your scenes or anything. It's just that after a set amount of time, it decides that it doesn't want to use a gig of RAM. It wants to use over 2 gigs. And I don't know what causes it. I don't know why. I've removed sources. I've disabled sources. I've hidden them. I've split all my like absolute rubbish into different scenes. And it still does it. And this isn't like a me not understanding OBS issue. This is like a me messing with OBS for years, since like 2014. And it's still doing the exact same thing. Well, it's not even the exact same thing. It just seems to be a random RAM leak that never gets patched. And I actually tested Streamlabs OBS, which I hate. I really, really hate Streamlabs OBS. Don't get me wrong. If that's the solution you want to use, it will work very, very well for you. But at the same time, as a person who likes a lot more control in what I do with my audio, what I do with my plugins, what I do with my sources and scenes, Streamlabs OBS is... I trade so much away. Like, I trade so much away not being able to use the plugins that do the things I want. And then, in order to use equivalent plugins, I have to, get Streamlabs Prime, right? And that in itself is exceptionally expensive. Now, I wouldn't have a problem if it was like a few bucks a month, like $5-6. No, like $5, like $5. If it's $5 a month, like a Twitch sub, I'd be pretty okay with paying that. But it isn't $5 a month. It is literally 12 if you get the annual, and like 19 if you get the single months, right? And 12 for the annual, that's like $150 a year on software. And like, I just think as anyone who's trying to stream, if you're not a professional streamer, that's absurd. Even if you are a professional streamer, that's absurd. Because you can still do the exact same things in OBS. And I mean, the people who are professional streamers don't have the same problem with OBS that I have. Because obviously, their PCs have a lot more goddamn RAM than mine has. And they have 2 PC setups, so it mitigates the issue to a considerable extent. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been dealing with. Hopefully the audio sounds better. I fixed that as well. I've been working on my mic setup, ordered some things to edit the position and stuff, which I'm actually really happy with. It really looks super dope and like chill. And I'm just glad that I did it because it's just so much better now. It took me a few days though. And that's kind of why I didn't really do anything in terms of, streams and videos and stuff, because I literally had no way of doing audio because my audio set was essentially broken for a set amount of days. But now I fixed that, so that's like fine again. Yeah, it's fine again. Which is what you want, right? You want everything to be fine again. I'm happy with it. I think it sounds good. I think it sounds a lot better and there shouldn't be as much background noise. It should sound better as well because I'm a lot more closer to my microphone than I was before, which means you guys should be hearing a lot more presence than there was before. And I can't really explain how my setup was before, but basically my desk is a desk, not the greatest. It works, it's functional. it does the job that it needs to do, but at the same time, it could be better, right? It could be better. So yeah, but we fixed it and it's working. So anyways, let's get into the discussions and everything, because we've got a lot to cover today. So, oh my god, I forgot to do this. Alright, let's hop into this scene. Let's hop into here. I forgot to set up my desktop capture. Here we go. Desktop capture. Nice. So we're starting off with a variety article. And this is about the Book of Boba Fett. This is the Star Wars partsy segment of the stream. Video podcast thing. So the first trailer sees infamous bounty hunter taking over the galactic underworld. So the first trailer for the Book of Boba Fett is dropped with the Disney Plus series, teasing the titular bounty hunters rise to prominence in the galactic underworld. In the trailer, Boba Fett, Tamara Morrison, and Fennec Shand, Ming-Na Wen. Oh, Ming-Na Wen is Fennec Shand. Okay, set about establishing themselves as major players amongst the gangsters of the Star Wars universe, using the palace of Fett's former employer, Jabba the Hutt, as their base of operations. One scene teases Fett and Shand being hired for a job by a mysterious Ithorian, while another shows them trying to rally Jabba's former captains now swear allegiance to Fett. When one asks why they should not just kill Fett instead, Shand reminds them that such talk would have led Jabba to feeding them to one of his many pets. Fett says that Jabba ruled with fear. I intend to rule with respect. Oh god, I just knocked my microphone and sent it flying. The Book of Boba Fett will debut on Disney Plus on December 29th. Oh, that's cool. So that's going to come out 2 days before the 4th? I think it's the 4th season of Cobra Kai comes out. I'm really looking forward to the 4th season of Cobra Kai as well. So this is coming out around by that time. So Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, Robert Rodriguez, Kathleen... I don't care about Kathleen Kennedy. Colin Wilson, executive producer, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they're the ones doing this, so it's fine. You know, it's... yeah. When you see Kathleen Kennedy attached to any project, you're like, oh my god, what's she done? What's she done? What's she gonna do? How's she gonna ruin the thing that we love? I mean, it's fine because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are there. They've been attached to many of the Star Wars projects for years. Mainly the TV series projects, and overall, I've enjoyed them greatly, so I don't have an issue with this. So, Morrison began his time in the Star Wars universe in the prequel film, Attack of the Clones. I think we all know that anyway. This is like filler. So, yeah. Returning as Boba in Season 2 The Mandalorian to great fan acclaim. When first played the character in Season 1 The Mandalorian, and provided the character's voice in the animated series Star Wars The Bad Batch, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed The Bad Batch. I don't think there's actually been anything TV series wise, apart from like some docu-series that I haven't enjoyed Star Wars wise. I think the people that they've had attached to that have tried to respect the history as much as possible, especially with like the Clone Wars, The Bad Batch. I really like Star Wars Rebels as well. Obviously we're gonna have a show about Ahsoka coming out, and obviously we've got Boba Fett coming out. So these are all different and good in their own ways. Let's move on to the next story. And this is about Eternals, and this is from IGN. So Eternal sequel is not a must-have, says a producer. There's apparently no hard and fast rule for the MCU sequels. So, yeah. Marvel's Eternals is anticipated to have a very big effect on the future of the MCU. But that doesn't necessarily mean the MCU blockbuster will spawn its own sequels. Oh, is this really expected? I mean, we'll get into this later, but let's go through this article and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty stuff of it. At least that's according to producer Ned Moore, who recently chatted to the Toronto Sun about Chloe Zhao's ambitious MCU blockbuster. In the interview, Moore reiterated that Eternals is meant to stand on its own as a film, and they may not necessarily lead on to future sequels or a trilogy, like some of the MCU installments have come to before it. It's not something that is a must-have. Obviously, we have ideas of where we could go, but there isn't a hard and fast rule when we have to have 3 of these things, and this is the first. Moore said of potential sequels, adding that if you just watch Eternals, you can enjoy Eternals, you can understand Eternals, and you're good to go. And to me, this is damage mitigation. But let's continue with the article. We felt like there was enough story that it could be a contained universe. Moore explained further, addressing the reason behind Eternal's standalone nature. We definitely have ideas of how things can cross over later, but this movie with 10 characters and Dane Whitman and the Celestials and the Deviants, that was enough for us to play with. Despite being viewed as a largely separate entity, Eternals does have some connections to the previous MCU entries. In one of the film's most recent trailers, Richard Madden's Icarus could be heard delivering his own take on the iconic Avengers catchphrase, which famously utters at the battle cry to bring all the Earth's mightiest heroes together. So yeah, there's nods and stuff. But we'll get into the next part, which is Rotten Tomatoes. And there's reviews out for this. Critics have already had their hands on this. They already started reviewing it. And it's got 60%. That's what it's got on the tomato meter from critics. 60%. And it's not good either. It's not like 6 out of 10 isn't a bad film. But it is a bad Marvel film. So I want to preface it. 6 out of 10 is Some people enjoy it, some people won't. That kind of, where it lands. But it isn't going to be like an all-time great. It isn't going to go down in history. It isn't going to be like the iconic film where you're like, oh my god, I loved that one. That one was better than all the rest. It's not going to be. It's not that. So here are some of the comments. So you got Eternals isn't a bad movie. It's just not a particularly satisfying one. Its scale proving untamable even for Zhao. Zhao is a baffling choice. A filmmaker who is ill-equipped and out of her element, with her discomfort visible across nearly every frame of the film. I'm sorry to tell you this movie is a mess. The film pushes back against the usual complaints, blah blah blah. It's the ambiguity, the attention to a person's capacity for contradiction and change that sets Zhao's MCU debut apart. A Marvel epic that values personal connections over spectacle. Sorry, adrenaline junkies, but that's what Oscar-winning indie director Chloe Zhao brings to her first blockbuster. The result is uneven, but memorably inclusive and unique. Eternals was always going to be a bit of a weird one. It's different, yes, but it's not bad on its own. Zhao has graduated from delicate artisanal indies to over-processed, soul-challenged, assembly line Hollywood junk in record time. And you can see, obviously, it's horrible, right? People just, the critics don't enjoy it. And that's weird because normally, places like IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, the critics normally go for Marvel films. They're normally high-performing. They're normally hyped up. They're normally respected in some way. Even the ones that fall down to fan scrutiny are normally respected in some way. And this sort of isn't the case with, what we're seeing with Eternals. And they're not looking necessarily to do a sequel or a trilogy of it. And I think that speaks volumes as to they expected this to be better than it was. I don't know why or, what went on in the background with that. Obviously, I wasn't a part of it. I can only speculate, and I'm not into speculating about stuff. I'd rather take facts and form an opinion around those facts. We really don't have enough coming out of that. But we have a producer, saying that this film's its own thing and we're not necessarily looking to do anything more with it. And I think that's fair. Not everything's a series, not everything is a trilogy, not everything is its own, franchise within itself. And I think sometimes just saying, this is what we created, you can enjoy this thing, but there is going to be more of this thing because we just want you to enjoy this. I don't know what more to say with that. I haven't watched the film, obviously, so I can't commentate on how good or bad it is. But from critic reviews, it seems like it went or wasn't quite polished enough to make it to the typical Marvel level that you'd expect. So anyways, we're going to move on, and we're going to move on to Radar Online, which is talking about a certain nameless person, A.H. A.H. So, A.H. is under investigation for perjury, accused of ordering ex-husband Johnny Depp's camp to lie under oath. According to the Daily Mail, Australian officials have launched probing statements the 35-year-old actress made during the initial investigation. At the time, the 50-year-old actor's then-wife was accused of breaching Australia's strict biosecurity laws after failing to declare her two dogs, Yorkshire Terriers. Her attorney insisted that the necessary paperwork simply slipped through the cracks. Because when I ever take anything to a foreign country, or I go with my passport and visa and all that jazz, I just get in because everything slipped through the cracks. No, it's not what happened. I'd actually be more interested in how the dogs got past Australian security, because I imagine that there's a story there of some people. I don't even want to say it. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. But there's no way that dogs got through the airport just by magic. So yeah. However, the ordeal was recently dredged up due to statements made during Depp's United Kingdom libel trial with media outlet The Sun. Last July, his former estate manager, Kevin Murphy, called Heard's explanation into question, telling the London court that she had ordered him to lie under oath about the dog smuggling scandal. He swore that prior to her trip, he explained to her several times the fact that trying to take the dogs into Australia without completing the mandatory process was illegal and could result in harsh penalties, including euthanizing the dogs. Now, I want to put this in perspective, right? I just want to say this right now. If you put a dog's life at risk, just simply to have them with you in a foreign country like this, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Like, you're meant to love animals, and this does not display to me a level of love. Anyways, that's my opinion on that part of it, at least. So yeah, the Daily Mail has confirmed that the Australian Department of Agriculture, Water and Environment then quietly reopened a criminal investigation into Heard's previous claims. Officials abroad enlisted the help of the FBI to track down witnesses in the United States. And it's been going on since then. It's going on, and things are being leaked and shared that I'm not going to go into. But essentially, Heard is in the crossed lines. There is fire coming her way. And yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, I'm not surprised at all. In the sense that if you do something, it will come out eventually, especially like this, right? There's just things that happen, and I don't know. It's a bit absurd to try and do, right? Obviously, you're gonna get found out eventually by someone. No secret is that well kept. And that's the reality. Unless you're the only person who knows a secret, it's not going to be well kept. It just isn't. That isn't the way it works. But yeah. We're going to move on to another topic now. And this is about Will Smith. And I want to say this now. if you are suffering from depression, anxiety, really dark, depressing thoughts, related to suicide and stuff, this is not the story for you. This next story is discussing mental health topics and may disturb you. So yeah, we're gonna go into this one. So this is from page 6, and Will Smith comes out and says that he thought about ending his own life in a report. So actor Will Smith recently admitted to have contemplated taking his life during the taping of a YouTube series about physical fitness and weight loss. This began as a journey to get into the best shape of my life, said the actor in the trailer for The Best Shape of My Life, in which he sets out to lose 20 pounds in 20 weeks. The Aladdin actor 53, I don't know why I'd call him the Aladdin actor. Why not Men in Black? Why not Bad Boys? What was the most recent one he did? Oh, I can't remember the name of it. It was on Netflix. It was pretty good. But yeah, why not bring out that part of it, and discuss that? But yeah, anyways, the Aladdin actor, for the series, writing his memoirs, exercising and sitting around a table with children Trey, Willow, Jaden, according to US Sun. And he says that when he started the show, he thought that he was getting into the best shape of his life, physically, but mentally he was somewhere else. And he says in a voiceover for the series, which premieres November 8th, that he ended up discovering a whole lot of hidden things about himself. That was the only time in my life that I ever considered taking my life, he says. And it's not clear when this happened, but I think it raises issues about mental health, right? Everyone goes through something, and I want to make that perfectly. Everyone goes through something. It could be big or it could be small, but everyone has the issues. Everyone has the demons, and it can hit us at any time or point in our life. It doesn't matter who you are, how much money you have, how much love and support you have, or anything, right? It doesn't matter about your life as a whole. There is just stuff that can affect you at some point, both rationally and irrationally. A lot of the times irrationally, that you can't really explain, but it just hits you and it weighs you down and it makes you have dark thoughts. And that's not something to be ashamed of. If anything, it should be something that's spoken about more. So there is an awareness and acceptance to seek help and find the other side, right? And there really isn't. And there's this perception that it's taboo, that you shouldn't speak about it, that it's wrong to speak about it, and that you should just suck it up. And I just think that's wrong. And I don't care whether you're a man or a woman, or whether you're non-binary, or wherever you want to be on the spectrum, or how you identify as a person. Whether you're old, whether you're young, where you're from in the world, it doesn't matter. Everyone has their struggles and everyone should be accepted and be able to seek the help they need and just speak about their issues and raise awareness. And not just that, but in seeking help, not be judged for it in a negative way when it should only be judged in a positive way. And it's surprising to hear this about Will Smith. He's an actor that I have enjoyed a lot of his films. You know, The Wild Wild West, Men in Black, Hancock, I, Robot, The Pursuit of Happiness, Concussion. Like, oh god, I can go on all day. And he's brought so much light to so much stuff, and he's bringing light to this as well. And I just hope the best for him and that he finds a way to the other side of acceptance and hope again. And that might sound corny and cheesy and weird, but that's kind of, I don't know how to describe it in a better way. There's no easy path. You just hope that somehow, somewhere, you get to the other side and you can learn to live with the way you are and the issues you have. I never think that an issue truly goes away. It's always there. It's always a part of you. But I think that some people, not all people, can find their way to, the other side. And yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one, right? It's hard, it's a long topic. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on to gaming news. So we're going to start with GTA 6. Ah, yes. GTA 6. This comes from the dark side of gaming. They're known for leaking interesting stuff. Some of the leaks are on point, some of the leaks are not on point. But we're gonna go with this one and we're gonna talk about it. This isn't 100% confirmed, right? I don't work for Rockstar, I don't know. But from people who are close to Rockstar, this is kind of what came out. So GTA 6 is reportedly in development. Hell, and Red Dead Redemption Remastered is apparently coming to PC. So Rockstar Mag's Chris, who's been a reliable source for leaks regarding the GTA series, has shared some details about Grand Theft Auto 6 and the Red Dead Redemption Remastered game that is, according to him, coming out. So according to Chris, GTA 6 is currently in development. Hell, Rockstar has restarted its development right after Dan Houser left the company. Not only that, but Take-Two was originally planning to announce the game in 2020. So it's nearly 2 years delayed to even be announced. According to this, if this is accurate, I don't know. So as Chris noted, Rockstar has changed the story and the other game elements too many times since 2019, which is apparently when they first started working on this, I'm guessing. Again, not sure because I don't know. But from the looks of it, GTA 6 is the most chaotic project Rockstar has ever developed. And even worse than the original Red Dead Redemption game. Which should turn out right in the end. I'm not saying this that this game is going to turn out alright. Because Red Dead Redemption 1 was a pretty fun game. I really enjoyed it. But also lastly, Chris claimed that Rockstar is working on Red Dead Redemption Remastered. Chris did not say for which platforms the remaster will come out, since this is a long way off, though we can assume that it will come out on current gen consoles and PC. Their remaster will be similar to GTA's trilogy, the Definitive Edition. So it won't be just a resolution increase, it will be a remaster, it'll feature new graphical features, and Chris believes that this remaster won't come out anytime soon. So, I mean, what can we take away from this? Obviously, it's all rumor and speculation, right? So there's nothing hard evidence here. But at the same time, Rockstar really hasn't announced anything apart from the GTA Remastered Trilogy Definitive Edition. So I could believe that. I mean, it's been a long time since GTA 5 for them to announce a new GTA game. I know there is a lot of time between these games, but this is the longest, I believe. Like, this is a really long time between the games that they normally announce a lot sooner. So, yeah, I can believe that there's something there. Red Dead Redemption Remastered, I mean, it's not something I was expecting, but it's not something I'm sad about either. Especially if, I don't know, like, I don't know how to describe it. We'll have to see what it looks like if it is a thing and if it is real, right? But it is interesting to hear about it. I just don't know, like, about stuff like this, whether or how I feel about it and stuff. Apologies, I just had to take a drink. It's hard doing podcasts, dude. Not gonna lie, like talking for a long time, it's hard to get the time in to drink and not like drop conversation at the same time. I need like a second person. I need a goddamn second person to help me host this. So, the controversial gamer skincare line is no more. We're hopping straight into this one. And this is about Valkyrie's Reflect skincare line, which is no longer available. And near everything to do with it has been scrubbed. So, those of you who know and those of you who don't, Reflect was a skin line that Valkyrie was heavily attached to. She was the primary influencer who was promoting this. I don't know the backstory on like the deals and the contracts and all that, but from what I learned from some other stuff, like the Courage and Nade Shop podcast, she's been heavily tied to this for over a year. They said that much in the podcast. You can listen to their podcast and you will hear that for yourself. But yeah, the controversial line of gamer marketed blue light protection skincare products associated with the content creator Rochelle Valkyrie Hofstetter has been cancelled along after strong negative backlash. Oh my god, get my words out. So the Reflect website is gone and replaced with a short message to those who were associated with the brand. Reflect is no longer available. Thank you to all who played important roles to conduct research, develop products, create a brand and service partners along our journey. While we believe in the formulations created, after further reflection we have decided to move on new paths, effectively terminating the Reflect brand, the site says. So Reflect was a line of gamer-focused products that was meant to protect against blue light. There is no medical consensus that exposure to blue light through screens causes harm. Critics of the skincare line pointed out that there are even studies that say that blue light can have beneficial effects in normal doses. The Reflect site was later updated with links to studies, but it's clear that the damage was done. Now, I don't know where I stand on this in the whole, but the way I see it is, if you stand behind the research you have done, which is what they're saying is that they stand behind the research they have done, then you would not drop the brand. And that's what doesn't make sense to me. If you were so sure in the studies and research that you've done, you would let them speak for themselves. And clearly this wasn't the case. So, yeah. This is a weird one for me in that respect. It's a weird move. I expected there to be a different outcome to this, where they would continue operating. But instead they have dropped the product completely, which is I don't know. But this isn't good for Valkyrie. I don't know whether this was part of her decision as well, or whether she pressured them into this, or disavowed them. But from this, it doesn't really say that she said anything much about it, from what she says publicly outside of it. So it is a little bit of a conundrum when you're trying to think like, why has this happened? And the only thing that I can think is that the research didn't hold up, and they were worried about, I don't even know about backlash. Like, there would still have been people who bought it, who believed in it. And there's a lot of other products that have come under scrutiny that have been questioned and have continued on and been successful. And they've dropped this one, and I don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense why they would drop it. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's weird. People in the comments weren't nice. So I'm not gonna read the comments because I don't want to like go out and attack people, right? I'm not gonna like go out and attack Valkyrie because that's just it's petty, right? It's not the kind of thing to attack someone over. I just find it weird that they would drop the product when they say that they stand behind their research. Clearly, they don't stand behind research if they drop product. But yeah, we're going to move on to the next story. And this is gaming stuff. Again, Warner Bros. Smash Bros. Style game Multiversus is leaking all over the place. And this comes from Eurogamer. So the leaks continue for Warner Bros. Smash Bros. Style game Multiversus, which Warner Bros. Has yet to announce, has suffered a number of leaks in the past week, including details of playable characters and even a portion of the game's character select screen. And that's not even the worst part of it. So yeah, stages have been leaked. The images appear to confirm the treehouse from the Adventure Time and get Swifty concept from Rick and Morty's as stages. Word of the project said to include the likes of Scooby-Doo Shaggy, Lord of the Rings Gandalf, Tom and Jerry, Fred Flintstone, Mad Max, John Bravo as playable fighters, initially surfaced on Reddit, and was subsequently verified by GameBeat's Jeff Grubb. So yeah, there's been leaks upon leaks upon leaks. And apparently the character select screen, which I can't verify because there's no links to it here, mysteriously shows new characters alongside Steven Universe, Batman, Harley Quinn, Adventure Time, Finn and Jake, Shaggy, Superman, Wonder Woman, Gandalf, Rick and Morty's Rick, Bugs Bunny, and Tom and Jerry. So there's a lot of stuff in that. Apparently it's going to feature a similar system to Smash Bros. With, you know, the knockback from other games, which, you know, Smash Bros. Has. You have a knockback percentage kind of thing. But apparently there's also going to be Arya from Game of Thrones, and they suspect that the game's going to be free to play and that there's going to be DLC in the form of purchasable characters that you can play. I mean, it's a thing, right? It's a thing. I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not gonna like badmouth it. I mean, free to play, right? That's pretty cool. Free to play the main game. If you like the main game, then if you want to get to like a specific character because you think they look cool or they have a moveset that you like, then get them. But like, I don't know. I have no like anything against the barrier of entry being free to play, so long as that the free to play experience isn't pay to win. It's why I've been enjoying Alien Solo so much. Again, I've been playing it's an MMORPG. It's free to play, and I played it for I think now 18 hours something. 18 hours I'm in, and I've got like pretty far sort of, despite some issues, and I've been really enjoying it. And it's free to play. I haven't put any money in the game, and I haven't encountered the point where I've been like, oh my god, I need to pay money to progress. I haven't. It's just been fun. So I have no problem with free to play games like Warframe, like Elion, other games where you know, there is payable content, but that content doesn't break the base game or the experience for the base players where they can enjoy it. And those games are actually the games that I am more likely to put money into, because I would see it as, hey, you're not making me pay for the entire year to play this game. You're not making me pay $60 to play this game. So, you know what? I like this little thing that you made. So I'm going to throw a few bucks here. And that'll be my time throughout these kind of games where I'll be like, you know, I really like that character. I'll throw a few bucks here. Oh, wow, that cosmetic set in Warframe, that's amazing. I love the arm set. I'm going to throw a few plat here. And yeah. So we're going to move on to a new one, to another story. It's from PC Games. New World has lost over 500,000 players in a month. Amazon Game Studios MMO New World has lost more than half of its player base since its launch, While initially player counts for the game had been extremely promising, launching to 650,000 concurrent players, before raising significantly to over 900,000 at the beginning of October. Over 500,000 have left New World in less than a month. So New World has certainly had a rough time since it started launch on September 28th. Various major bugs and exploits have turned up, and even its best features, sheer number of players, proved troublesome. So servers got overloaded, waiting times skyrocketed, and the ability to transfer between servers got progressively more and more delayed. According to Steam charts via Forbes, it would seem that the majority of players have either had enough of these issues or waiting for a new world to become more stable. And I can understand that become more stable aspect. I can understand the become more stable aspect because that's what you kind of want from an MMO. Alien has its issues, and I'm not gonna lie, they do bug me. There's like a glitch where you get kicked out of the server after an hour or something, and it's fine afterwards, but I don't know whether it's my time zone or what, whether they do that. But there is an issue there with that. So I can understand why bugs and issues would cause players to say, you know, alright, I'll come back in a month and see how it's doing. So New World's peak current player count stands at an excellent 913,027 players on October 3rd. Since then, average player counts have steadily declined every week. So the peak current player count this week is only 398,526, a drop of around 57%, or 514,501 players in less than a month. While it is possible that the server issues, bugs, and the lack of any real story or character building may be putting players off of New World, it's just as likely that they may return once these issues are sorted. Hopefully they will be, and New World will continue to be a success story. No one wants... I'm not going to read that last sentence. Fine, I'll read the last sentence. I'll fucking read it. No one wants to upset Jeff Bezos after all. So my opinion on this is Alien, I've been playing it and it has story. And I've enjoyed story as far as I've gotten with the faction that I'm playing as. And with the class I'm playing as. I've been enjoying it. And it's been fun. And I think that even a loose-knit story is exceptionally important to world building because it gives you a connection. It doesn't have to be a personal story, but it has to be a story that somehow connects you to the game you're playing. Otherwise, it just feels... It feels a little bit empty and lackluster when you feel like everything you're doing doesn't serve a point or isn't getting to an end. Stories in MMOs don't have to be, you know, expansive and overarching these epic grand tales, but there should be progression from level 1 to level whatever they end up being, the level that's top at, where through those sections you feel like there is something you are working towards with a purpose. And when you have that working towards with a purpose, then it makes you feel connected to the world. And it doesn't have to be, as I've said, expansive. It doesn't have to be like this in-depth movie-like story. It can be very loose, like BDO's story, like this online's, is very loose. Elion's is loose. Even some of the Elder Scrolls stories, while more in-depth than them, are still loose in nature, but they give you a direction and a focus of kind of where you're going as a character. They lead you through the world in a linear... Well, not linear, because you can choose to do what you want to do. But through stories and side quests, they lead you through the world in a way that you can progress and feel like you're accomplishing things. And I think without stories to help give you a little nudge behind, say, hey, this is a little cool thing, you might enjoy this, to give you that little push to play a bit longer, that MMOs suffer greatly. And if they're talking about a lack of story or background, then I feel like that is one of the persistent reasons why people might not be enjoying it as much. Obviously, the bugs and the issues don't help. That is never going to help. That's always going to cause issues and cause players to say, you know, I'm going to take a break until things are fixed. But at the same time, I feel like the story, that's what a lot of people get invested in for the long term. The lore of the world. And when there's a lack of lore and story and feeling that connection, that's not a good thing. So we're going to go into the final one of the day, which is Fortnite is shutting down in China, November 15th. So it's very unclear, oh my god, as to what this is related to, why they are actually shutting down Fortnite. But it could be down to China's crackdown on games, or it could be down to them not wanting to be in the Chinese market anymore. It could be down to their partners in China not wanting to support the game anymore. It is a very not disturbing issue. Obviously not a disturbing issue, but it's very surprising because Fortnite's a pretty big game in China, in the sense of AAA titles going to the country. It is a big game. I imagine it represented a lot of revenue for Epic Games in the long term. It's a market that is very profitable in the long term. So them deciding to remove the game by 2015 is interesting. So Fortnite China, known as Fortress Night in the Chinese translation, will no longer be available according to the game's official website. The version of Fortnite in China is quite different from what the rest of the world plays and was only available via an authorized Chinese internet provider. The test of Fortress Night has come to an end. We will shut down the server in the near future. Read the Google translation of the website. It indicates that the registration of new players and download portal will be unavailable as of November 1st, and the game will become inaccessible to players on November 15th. These were shared by a reliable Fortnite source, iFireMonkey, who credited Archeops for spotting it. No other information from this one has come out as light yet, and it's unclear whether this has to do with new restrictions or what. So yeah, it has differences. I'm not going to go into that. They talk about the Chinese government. These restrictions have understandably worried the country's gaming community, some which whom have gone as far to saying that PUBG esports may be over in China. So yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's sad, right? But that's the things that happen. That's life, right? Can't have everything you always want all the time forever. So yeah, depressing. Depressing times. I mean, if you're a Fortress Night player in China, at least. But I think we covered particularly everything that I wanted to cover in this in today, and I guess that went well. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one, right? All of this is sort of a weird one. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching the Pandacast. I will see you guys in the next one. I don't know what we're talking about because I never know what we're talking about. But we will see when I get round to talking about it. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I will see you guys later. And stay tuned because we're going to hop into some entitled parent stories. So see you guys in a bit. Okay, I'm going to go to be right back screen while we wait for me to do the thing. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, perfectamundo. Alright, so we're going to be reading some r/entitled parent stories. And most of these are related to Halloween, which is awesome. Because Halloween and all that. So let's get into it with the first story. And this is about entitled Mom, who OP says looks at me like I'm stupid after she brings her dog on my porch. So let's get into this one, shall we? There we go. So, this story comes from Cypo PS Postatic. Okay, I don't know if that's your actual name. I think I butchered that quite badly. So, handing out candy went great, says OP, except for this one lady. For context, I have a 50-pound pit bull, husky mix. Absolute sweetheart who loves to show off her voice. She loves people, but she also does not like other dogs coming around her people or house, aka the dog's territory. Anyways, I hear kids, so I get up to head to the door. Everything goes fine at first. She's loving the attention from the crowd of about 8 kids. But at the same time, we realize the lady has a dog. My dog loses her mind, starts barking and guarding the door. Suddenly, this lady looks at me with the dirtiest look and said, "Don't let your dog near the house if it's not friendly," while pulling away with her kids. Mom, excuse me, you brought your dog onto my porch and didn't tell me you had a dog with you. There wouldn't have been a problem if you kept the dog off the porch. Like, seriously, how am I wrong here? Some people. So there's an edit from OP which says, we'll ignore the edit because it's not relevant. But there's multiple comments down below, and one from Diligent Brick 5023. I have 5 dogs, all are very friendly. Dogs are also territorial. They would react the same. Ladies was out of line. Queen of the Balls replies, "Yeah, my dogs adore other dogs and playing, but a new dog around their pack and or their land still goes full attention and looked over before being approved to go near their precious tiny human." You are not wrong, says RCR Moon. Your dog is in your house protecting you. Your dog is friendly to your children, just not her dog. Rule of thumb is not to take a dog to someone else's house without their permission, and she failed to do that. And then there is one from I don't know, like there's more. Sorry, he does have a key nose for entitlement. Took my 80-pound dog who doesn't like to meet new dogs trick or treating last night. He waited in the street with my daughter's dad while she and I went to the door, because that's just common sense and courtesy. Not the arsehole. Yeah, I don't know, like, don't take dog to other people's houses, dudes. People, don't do it. It's just not a good thing to do. Like, if you don't know if someone has a dog, don't take your dog to their house. That's just gonna cause trouble, because dogs by nature are territorial. And it's one thing to have a dog that's a friend with another dog in a park and to get on and they're friendly and I mean, like, hey, we should have them hang out together sometime, and doing that thing where you introduce them properly, to having random dog that other random dog doesn't know and is like, what the fuck, this is my house, and then they go all on edge because they trip out. And that's just the way dogs are. It's the way pets are. They don't like other pets being in the house without some form of introduction and greeting period. Then if they accept them, then it's cool. But if not, then not. But like bringing your dog to someone's house without permission and just being like, my dog, your dog doesn't like my dog, you should keep it away, it's not friendly. He's like, no, my house. Why are you bringing your dog to my house when my dog doesn't know your dog? What do you think is going to happen? Do you think he's going to be happy? Do you think she's going to be happy that there's another dog, like, on her porch around her people? No. Anyways, we're moving on to another story, and this is a provocatively titled one, and this is Gaijin Lolita, and it says, "The little something ruined my Halloween." This isn't so much entitled parents as it is entitled kids and completely incompetent parents. So in my house, Halloween is like advanced Christmas. We're just into it. We are it. My dad starts setting up well over a month in advance, and we have some stuff, to my chagrin, up all year. The whole property all the way around has hundreds of decorations. So this year my dad drove over an hour to get the last Jack Skellington animatronic available in our entire state. It cost around $300, but he had to have it to match our Sally Bad's entrance. So backstory out of the way. So while my dad's out there amongst the animatronics, giving tours and talking with our literal professional clown friend who's helping out, I'm on candy duty. So a large group of kids comes to the door and immediately knocks Jack over because they are just crowding around and not wanting to wait in line. But it wasn't damaged. Yet, they then almost knocked over Sally as I put up Jack. Eventually, he's standing up and I give them their candy. So I don't even get a chance to say, take two or take a handful. This kid just takes a handful, then another. I tell him, okay, that's enough. And he takes another handful saying, wow, this is so much. Once again, I tell him, that's enough. As I take the ball and move to the other side of the door, closing to the other boys. Closer to the other boys, he reaches for a fourth and I move his hand away. Finally, all the kids have candy, everything's fine, right? I can finally give the two little princesses who showed up their treats now too, right? Well, I guess I was wrong. As I'm reaching the ball out to the girls, I see the kid grab Jack and knock him forward on purpose. It feels like slow motion as he tips forwards and pop off with his head. Jack is laying on the ground beheaded, and I'm just standing there shocked as I see this kid walk away. The poor girl was trying to ask if she can take two, but I was so shocked it took me a while to reply and was awkward. I still feel bad because it wasn't the girl's fault. I wish I could have told them a cheerful happy Halloween. After I gave the girls candy, I straightened up Jack and assessed the damage, and yep, he's dead. I mean dead. Not his usual undead self. Wires have completely clean broke. The plastic did not, so no hoping of twisting the wires back or fitting the head on. After a minute, I go to the group of parents and ask if they are the parents of the group. They say yes, and I tell them how a kid purposely knocked over Jack while he is currently punching off inflatables. They all immediately knew which kid it was and said something around, yeah, he can get a little rough, in a very boys will be boys dismissive way. Later, I found, according to my dad, the kid was still kicked and punching the inflatables after I left. Oh, so the kid was still punching the inflatables after I left. As the dad stood there and the mom said stop once but not actually doing anything. I eventually found my dad and told him what happened. To say he looked like someone kicked his puppy as he held Jack's head would be an understatement. I told him that he could talk to the parents since they are still here. They might listen to an adult man more than a petite woman, but he couldn't find whose parents was whose. As other parents stepped up to take responsibility for their kid, so he didn't say anything. He's still been kind of down, and I've been off. It's his favourite day, and I'm so upset that parents will just stand there and not even care and think they shouldn't even be sympathetic. Their kid destroyed someone's expensive property because they are spoiled. This Halloween has been a bad year. And that one's sad for OP, right? Having a day ruined, not for you, but for who's someone you know who cares about the day. You know, sometimes the day doesn't care, you don't care about as much as someone else, and it isn't as important. But for that family member, for that person, that day can be exceptionally important. So I know it's illegal and 100% inappropriate to throat punch. Oh, I'm not even going to read that one. Yeah, I'm not going to read that one at all. Not a good idea. Yeah, let's move on to a different topic. I hear parents who don't parent, the kid is only rough because his parents won't tell him no. I'm so sorry that happened to your dad. Yeah, breaks my heart. See, I'm going to have such a hard time getting kids in the future and want nothing more than to nurture them all Mitchell Rudder style. Yet seeing parents like this who just don't care. I mean, I know what Mitchell Rogers is because I'm not American. I believe this is an American thing. I'm not American. I don't understand the reference. It makes no sense to me. Yeah. So we're gonna move on to another story. And this one is from Andre R. Memes. Is this a meme or is this real? Em tries to ruin my Halloween decorations because they scare her kid. So the cast is me, OP. EM entitled Mom. EMK entitled Mother's Kid. When Halloween came, I saw this woman around my neighborhood with a kid yelling at people to remove the decorations. This happened to most of the people that had decorations on their front yard. I saw through the window that the kid came. I opened the door and gave him candy when her mother showed up. EM, do you have any respect for this kid? How dare you put up these terrifying decorations? Me, Mom, it's Halloween. Scary decorations are meant to be put everywhere. EMK, entitled Kid, starts crying, fake cry. Entitled Mother, look, your stuff made my son cry. Me? Okay, this isn't my fault for making him cry. Entitled Mother, oh yes it is. It's your fault that you put up these scary decorations. Mom, I saw you do this to other people in the neighborhood. You're just trying to get people's decorations removed and just complain about them. Then entitled Mother and her entitled Kid started to ruin my decorations. I reached my phone to call the cops on her. There's nobody actually did. And she just listened to her. When the cops arrived, she had to pay a fine for about €500 and I had no other choice than to repair my decorations. Well, she got fined. And the police can deal with her. I mean, right? At least she got fined and the police can deal with her. Why didn't anyone call the police on her? I have no idea. Maybe they did, but I didn't see anything. Did you press charges against her for destruction of property? Didn't you report she was meant to pay a fine to the police? Right there on the street. Clearly, this is a real story. Because people often think I don't want to bother with all the police stuff, or it's not that much of an issue, or I don't want to come off with like a B word. So they often suffer through these harassments. Reminds me of a character in The King of the Hill that hates Halloween. I need to push her agenda onto everyone else because she's not happy. Blah, blah, blah. So we're going to move on to the final story. And this one is from Warrell. EM waited. Entire mother waited forever for her pizza. So this is a OP story, which is I ordered the pizza the other day and decided to go and pick it up. As the store was just across the street from my house, the pizza place allows you to order through an app. They'll place it in a warming tray when it's ready. You get a code, you enter the code at the warming trays, and it unlocks your order for you. There's a big screen that says your name and which order waiting tray number is your order is on. The app told me my order would be ready for 4:45. So I was there at the door for 4:47. I got to the door at the exact time as entitled Mother and her child, maybe 4 or 5. I'm Canadian, so it's basically engraved into my DNA that in these moments I have to hold the door open for the other person. So I went to grab for the door to hold it open for them when EM entitled Mother practically shoved me out of the way so she could open the door and go in ahead of me. I was in a rush, so I let her go first and followed them in. The warming trays were to the left and the register was to the right. I quickly looked at the screen and saw no other orders were waiting yet, so I stood off to the left to wait until mine was ready. EM and her kid went to the right and straight up to the register. I recognized the girl working. She was one of their regular workers. A very polite girl, no more than 16, 17. Polite girl smiled at her entitled mother, and before she could say anything, entitled mother cut her off. Is the order for I won't say the name because I don't know if the name's real. Is the order for R ready yet? Polite girl said, sure. Let me just check. She typed something on the register and said, yes. Looks like it just came out of the oven. Should be maybe another 2 to 3 minutes before minutes to move to cut and box it. Entitled Mother let out a huff, so loud I could hear it clear across the store. Are you serious? We have been waiting here for 10 minutes already. This is taking forever. Polite girl just looked at her, kind of shrugged and said, sorry? Entitled Mother let out another huff and grabbed her kid's hand, practically dragging him out of the store, slamming the door behind her. As if right on cue, as soon as she left, I see my name appear on the screen, letting me know my pizzas were ready. I put in my code, grabbed my pizza, and I thanked Polite Girl on my way out. Entitled Mother and I made eye contact when I got outside. I smiled at her and told her to have a good night. I get it, people. I love pizza too. We all need to have some damn patience. I remember waiting for 20-30 plus minutes as a kid, and that was on a good day. Yep. I don't know. People are impatient now, right? People are impatient. They want everything now. Now. Which is depressing in some ways. I'd rather something be good and made correctly than for something to be now. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about all the stories today in this podcast and Reddit reading thing. Thank you very much. Take care. Have a good rest of your night. And I'll see you guys in the next one.